Hello everyone, it's Lynn again, and I'm here with card number 2 from the cards I did at my card class a couple of weeks ago. And this is the next card we're going to be making. And what I'm using this time is Delightful Wishes. I'm using the stamp set, and I'm using the dies. And I've went ahead and cut one thing up front first, which is this word wishing, because that took a little while. Let me tell you how I did it. I used sticker sheets on the back side of the basic white. And so when I ran it through the die machine, it created a sticker. And I was able to pull the backing off and lay it directly on the pool party. The little dots for the eye, because I used a sticker sheet, those stayed within the negative piece of the paper after I die cut. And then I was able to take my Take Your Pick tool, the pointy end, ever so slightly to get the paper off the back of the sticker. I turned the die back over and I pushed the little dot back through the die, and I got the eye dots on. So there's probably a lot of other tips and tricks out there, but that is how I did it. Sticker sheets saved my life on this little piece. I actually die cut this out ahead of time for everybody in my class that day. I just knew they would run for the hills on that one. So let me give you some measurements. These over here, these two basic whites and this Early Espresso, these are scraps. The size doesn't matter because we're going to be die cutting out of that. This vellum, which I'm also using the DSP that goes with this suite, this vellum measures 2 inches by 5 1/4. And this piece of DSP measures 1 1/2 by 5 inches. I'm going to set these two aside for now, and we're going to start with our stamping. So let me move those up there, and this one moves aside as well. So let's start with the you a happy birthday. Every time I try to say that, I think it sounds so strange, because what kind of grammar is you a happy birthday? But the word wishing goes up there, so it overall says wishing you a happy birthday. I don't know why I'm struggling when I just read this sentiment right here. It's just odd. Okay, so there's that. And we're done with basic black. I'll move that out of the way. On this scrap, we're going to bring in Lemon Lolly first. And this is 2-step stamping. I am going to start with a background image, and then the detail stamp is going to come in and to give it some more detail. So Lemon Lolly is my base, and let's just get that on there the best we can. I thought the paper was a little small there. It does fit. Okay, and we're done with that one. Now we're going to bring in Daffodil Delight, and this is going to be the detail. So let me tap, tap, tap that up. And because this is photopolymer, I can see through. I should have probably lined that up a little better, but it's pretty easy to line up. It's photopolymer, you can see through. And again, at the end of the day, am I on that? There we go. We're going to die cut this out. I feel like I had that totally backwards. Nope, it looks fine. We're going to die cut it out, so it's not going to matter how close I am. It's going to look great no matter what. And actually, while I have the ink out, I'm going to add a little bit of detail to the inside of my card. I didn't do that on my original one. Actually, that one doesn't even have the base in it. I'm going to add, there's this flower set, an additional flower set in here it comes with, and I think I'm going to add, let me pull that Lemon Lolly back in. I'm like, my hands are going everywhere. I don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm going to take this flower image, and what I'm looking for on this one, I don't know if you can see, there's this part of the stamp kind of does something different. It kind of stands out to me. It's the focal point that's standing out to me. And why I'm looking for that is because when I go to put the detail on, I'm going to look for that same thing, because I want to be able to line it up easily, and that's the piece I'm looking for. So here we go. Let's stamp my Lemon Lolly down there, and let me make sure I'm in view. Sometimes I come too far down and you can't see what I'm doing. So this should line up And again, looks great to me. And let me close these up. Don't want a inky mess. There's also a leaf in that set that I'm going to bring in to give my flower just a little touch of green. Let's just go right there. And that'll lighten up a little bit as it dries. Okay, so we're done with, oops, sorry about that, everybody. And that's what happens when you use a glass mat. Okay, now my next step is we're going to die cut these out. So let me get the dies out. And you can see what this set comes with as I open it. We're going to need the stem, or the branch, I should call it. I've already used these two. This is the wishing. I need the banner, or the sentiment, and I need the flowers. So I've got a bunch of Post-it note tape up here. I like to tack my stuff down so it doesn't shift on me, especially when you're dealing with this tiny little border stamp to stamp out the or to die cut out the sentiment. It's so tiny that I don't want it to move. And my luck, it definitely will move. So let's tack those down. And let's get the flowers. Get some more Post-it note tape. And you can see here, you know, if you had missed some detail, it is not going to matter because you're going to cut it out. Now this one's going to die cut out, I think it's 5 pieces. Let me get my die cut machine. This is the last card we're going to use the die cut machine on for. So last time for table shaking. We're going to get all of our pieces on here, hoping nothing shifted. All right, let's get the top plate down. And I'm going to go gently so I don't shake it too much. And again, you notice I put everything at an angle. I don't want to create that speed bump, which of course is going to shake the table even more. I had a little bit of one, but not a bad one. Okay. Let's get these off. Put the plates to the side. I'll utilize the ground when I'm working. Okay, let's get, I usually try to take the Post-it note tape off first so I can keep reusing it. Come on, little Post-it note. There we go. Okay, there's a scrap. There's my happy birthday. Oh, not my happy birthday. My bad grammar if you're just looking at it. Die. And the flowers. Sorry for my reach to put the Post-it note tape back up. So you can see all the little flowers that come out with it. Let me move those to the side. And let's see. Nope, it doesn't want to come out. So let's grab my take your pick tool and just pop those out of the little, that's why they have the little holes there, so you can get your die out. Sometimes if you toss it, which I don't want to toss it too hard on a glass mat, I call it letting your anger out. You can throw your die and it pops right out. Okay, I'm gonna grab one thing for this. I'm gonna grab my silicone craft sheet because putting glue on the back of that is very, it's very tiny. So I'm gonna use that so I don't get glue everywhere. Okay, let's start building our card. I'm gonna bring in the white card base. Now vellum, you can see, usually when you use glue, you can see through it. And I don't want to see the glue through my vellum piece. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to lay the vellum down and I'm gonna put glue behind this DSP piece, or this piece of DSP. And then I'm just gonna keep the vellum in place and I'm gonna put my, here, I'll show you, I'll tell you as I'm doing it. It might make more sense as I'm doing it. Getting ahead of myself there. Okay, so let's line up our vellum again. And let's take this piece. And I want it at an angle. So just like that. I glued it down and now I'm holding my piece of vellum in place. And I don't have a problem with it, you know, if it wants to lift up a little bit up here. It's not going to hurt anything, and it's actually not even doing that, so I think it looks great. Now let's bring in our branch, and I'm going to put some small little dots of glue on the back side, and you can see I'm already getting glue a little bit heavy up on the top there, but I'm going to show you the trick as to why I love this mat. Let me go all the way down here. Okay, so I got a little heavy on my glue up there, and that's okay. I'm just gonna tap it on here real quick, and I'm gonna get some of that excess off. And actually, I'm gonna let that sit there for a minute just to get a little tacky, so when I go to glue it down, the glue doesn't come out everywhere. I don't think it will, maybe that spot right there, but I think it'll probably be okay, but let's just give it a minute. I'm gonna grab some mini dimensionals, and we're going to use those for the back of the sentiment and the word wishing. Now these minis, I just took the backing off of that one. These minis fit perfectly, hopefully I'm in view here. They fit perfectly behind this sentiment. And of course I love my dimensionals, so there will be 4 on here for me. And on the word wishing, they fit in a couple spots without having to trim them, like the G right there, and you know, this, what is that? Where am I at? W, wishing. I can get it on that little one. I think I can even get it on the H. And I actually might get it over here just fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think we're gonna be, I had cut some for, actually I am gonna do that. Let me get a pair of scissors. I'm gonna cut tiny little slivers off the sides of this, because I don't want my G, am I on the G? Yeah, I don't want the G to sag. Oops, look at that, I just put my dimensionals in my glue. And I think I'll do one on the other side of it too. Just the tiniest little sliver. You know, use up the edges of your dimensionals, that's what they're there for. Okay, and then don't let any of that go to waste. Okay, I think, you see how my branch now, you don't really see the white dot, so it's just tacky. There's just enough glue on there. I'm now gonna pick that up, and I'm gonna lay it right on top of this DSP. All right. And on my first card, I glued these little flowers down flat, but I think on this one, I want to use mini dimensionals and pop it up. So let's bring those back in and just stick a little dimensional on the back side of these flowers, these flower petals. And I think I can get one on that tiny one. Let's see. Let's look. Oh, you can see it ever so slightly. Let's see if I can get it down a little further. That's great. Okay. Okay, so now to build this. Because I'm putting flowers on dimensionals, instead of gluing them down, I'm gonna start with my sentiment. That might be a bad choice, we'll find out. Or the word wishing, we're gonna start with that. And I gotta get the dimensionals off those tiny little slivers I put there. Okay, I'm gonna run that about right, oh, maybe not there because I want the flower there. Let's hold off on that. Let's wait. I changed my mind. Let's put these flowers down first. Okay, this one I'm gonna put here. And again, it's not gonna matter too much where you put these flowers. You can put them anywhere you want to. Oops, got one sticking to me. I'm gonna put that one there. I'm going to maybe put this one right here. This one I'm gonna put, that looks good. It's gonna be dimensional backings everywhere. And I'm gonna go on the top. Okay. Now let's see where my word wishing is gonna fit. So you see how I'm kind of up against that flower right here with my N? Whoops. I'm going to take that dimensional off. because it's going to sit right on top of that flower. Okay. And let's get the dimensionals off the little sentiment. It's a nice thing about these dimensionals. You can take them back off if you don't like where you ended up putting them. Okay. There's the front of the card base done. Pull, or the card layer, I should say. Here's my Pool Party card base. This one opens vertically. And as always, I like to adhere my stuff onto a flat card base. I'm going to put glue on the back of the card layer. And adhere that as, you know, as straight as we can. And the inside that we stamped a little earlier, let's put glue on the back of that. You can see that green, the garden green, lightened up a little bit. And I know it looks odd not to have a sentiment in here, but I felt like the front said everything, wishing you a happy birthday. So for those of you who just love to write inside a card, you have plenty of room to write. And of course you could find another sentiment if you wanted to. So, oh, I almost forgot the most important part. We need to bling this up, so let's pull in those rhinestones. And again, I only have small ones left, so we're just going to make that. It's going to give me reasons to put extra. 1, 2, 3, 4. We like 5, so let's go right there. Okay, there we go. Card number 2. Wishing you a happy birthday. Stay tuned for card number 3. It's going to be super easy.